Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. How is everybody doing this Sunday evening? I'm doing really well. I'm so excited about being here. I am finally back in my home studio. After being in London, or England, I guess. After I've been in England for 3 months. Not 3 months, geez, I really wish 3 weeks. After I've been there for 3 weeks. Okay, so let's see if I can put this down a little bit. Let me know when you hop on. I think I'm going to take this off of. Sorry if it's makes you dizzy. Oh, whoa. Sorry if that makes you dizzy. I'm just watching it on the computer since it's delayed. It's crazy. Sorry. I was recording a video, and when you record on video, apparently it's a little bit closer in than when you record on StreamYard. So today I am going to make this beautiful 2-page layout using the Floral Impressions suite. I don't know if I messed up. Wait, if we going live on Instagram. Somehow Instagram closed and it didn't hit live yet, so oh well. I'm just gonna wait a minute for someone to come on. Hi Vicky, hi Mom. Yes, it's so much nicer to have my own setup here. And I hope it's better quality for you. I know we did our best on the road. One day we were in, geez, where were we? We were in Alton, Jane Austen's kind of hometown, on one day, and then the other day, I think we were in were we in Bath or were we in Morton and Marsh? So go back and watch those if you didn't. One day we made our junk journals, and then another day we did the Floral Impressions card kit. Not the Floral Impressions, the heirloom arrangements card kit, which is one of Stampin' Up's card kits, and it was perfect for a Jane Austen town. Oh yeah, in Alton we did a split screen so you could see us because we were wearing our Regency dresses. I am going to work on figuring out how to add my face on the screen with a second camera because it wasn't too difficult to get that second camera going um, to do that split screen. So, okay, so today we are going to make this scrapbook layout. I am using the Floral Impressions paper, and it's the Impressions of Bloom stamp set for and dies for these things. But if you have any paper, just grab paper that you have, because this is a versatile layout that you can make with really any paper. So I wanted to show you the Floral Impressions paper. Darcy's being very needy right now. I don't know. I don't know why. Okay, let me tell you the inspiration behind this layout. I saw this paper, and to me, I saw this rainbow effect, and I wanted to accentuate that in my layout. Right, so it's kind of this. I would say red, but it's, red, pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. So it's kind of the rainbow. And so this paper is what inspired this layout. Now these strips are 1 3/4. So you needed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8. There wasn't enough from, this one sheet to create this page. Right, because that's more than 12 inches. So what I did, and I don't know if you can kind of tell, but so this one and this one is here. And then this last one, I use this paper. Okay, it's not from the same sheet, but it's right, it's this page. So it kind of looks like it goes, but it's really different. And then this one, I used, let's see if I can find it. I used this paper right here. So this is for the red side. So I kind of extended out this rainbow effect by using a couple other pages, but I don't really think that you can tell that by how it's laid out. So that's what I'm hoping. Let's see if I've got it. Okay. So let's look at this paper from the, this is Floral Impressions. So look at this one. It's kind of, let me look at the colors so I can tell you correctly. The colors on here say Crushed Curry, Darling Duckling, which is one of the new colors, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. So I think this is Fresh Freesia and Misty Moonlight would be my guess on this one. And then look at the back. It's got this Old Olive, and it's kind of almost striped. This is what I used across the top here. So this is Pretty in Pink, Strawberry Slush, then the Fresh Freesia. And I think this is probably Garden Green. And then the back side is the Strawberry Slush with a little design. This is that ombre flower paper that, like I said, inspired this layout. I did see an interview with the lady who created this, the artist who drew this set. And she said her inspiration was pressed flowers. So that's why everything looks like one-dimensional, because it is supposed to represent pressed flowers. Okay, like if you have a herbarium and you have herbarium sheets with different flowers on them, that's kind of what this is. And then the back is that Darling Duckling. It's kind of a check. This one's pretty. I don't know what the orange, did they say what the orange color was? Oh, peach pie. Okay, peach pie. Peach pie on this one. And then the back is fresh freesia. This one's pretty. It's just like leaves with a little bit of these yellow flowers. And then the back is this one is probably, let's see, pool party. I would say pool party. Here's one that's kind of, I don't know, would you call these daisies? Sunflowers or daisies? Darling Duckling, and then the peach pie, I would say. And then this is the garden green, and it has kind of circles on it. Yeah, Vicky, I love this paper. That's why I really wanted to feature it on this kind of layout. So these ones I think we've done already. So that's this paper, the paper suite. And then there is a stamp set that goes with it. And again, these are supposed to be um, pressed flowers. And so you could see I have used this. Actually, next week I'm going to make a card with this. Uh, Maybe a few cards, but you can see here are the stamps. You can see what it looks like when it's stamped. And then these are the dies. So it's got dies, and these all cut out the stamps. Here I just cut out from paper. Okay. Um, so, but what I really like about this one is it does come with these. Would you call these oval dies? These two oval dies. This one is just a clean cut, and then this one has kind of braiding or dots around the edge. Okay, which I did not use in this layout. Okay, so this is a stamp set and die set that goes with this. I will be using the dies for here. Okay, but you can see what the stamp set looks like. And these are what I'm going to make next week. Next week I'm making the fault line cards. These are called fault line cards. Okay. So I am going to be making a 2-page layout. So I just recommend you grab some paper and craft with me. Even if you don't have this um, suite, this is a beautiful layout with any colors. And I've actually made a layout like this before. Actually, if you've been to the Chicago or Schaumburg Stamp and Scrapbook Expo, basically I did this as the make and take at the Stampin' Up booth last year. Um, so, and I used that coated, close to my heart, coated like glossy paper that had the um, UV coating on it. And that was a really, really beautiful layout. But I thought this was perfect for this design. Um, if you want to make it somewhat like this, you can just I would take like Pretty in Pink, Strawberry Slush, Peach Pie, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, something like that, and you can just make a nice rainbow color. And then I did use the Darling Duckling for the mats, so I think that would work. Okay, so even if you don't have the suite, grab some paper and craft along. Okay, so let's start off with this one. I'm going to move this, and we'll come to that in a minute. Okay, like I said, these pieces are 1 3/4. They're all 1 3/4, and they are by 9 1/2. Okay, so let's get the paper that I want to use. Here we go. This is a paper that I want to use. Put that over there. Okay. And I said 9.5, right? Let me measure again, just so I don't cut it wrong. Yeah, 9.5. So I'm going to cut this at 9.5. That way I can, use the whole bottom part if I want to. Okay. And then, like I said, these were 1 3/4. And that pretty much cuts these. This is the strawberry slush. This is, I think, the pretty in pink. Starting to get a little bit of that peach pie. And then peach pie and darling duckling, 1 3/4. And now we're getting into this garden green, old olive and garden green, 1 3/4 here. And then 1 3/4. And then this one is not, well, I didn't use this one. Maybe I did. Let's see, did I make one of these? No, okay. But then remember we needed, there's not enough of these, so we need to add one other one. So I'm going to cut this at 9.5. And this was from the sheet with the strawberry slush on the back. So let's cut this at 9.5. Okay, and then, like I said, oh shoot, I think I cut that wrong. Did I not cut 9.5? I might have to. No, that's 9.5. Are these 9.5? Okay, well, we'll see. And then remember the last one is from this paper. I already have this one somewhat cut. Here we go. This one. Okay, so we're going to cut this 1 3/4. And then 9.5. Okay, so let's go back to the layout and look. So basically what you need are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need 8 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 9.5. Okay. I'm using the ombre, so that's how I cut mine. But again, you can cut whatever colors you want. You can make this, like I said, a rainbow if you want, or you can use, say, school colors, or if you want to make it for like Easter, you can use Easter colors. If you want to make it for Halloween, you can use Halloween colors, and so on. Okay. Now we need this strip here. This is a 1/2 inch by 12 inch. Okay. And that is that is really the back side of this paper. So let's cut 2 of those. So I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch off of this. 2 pieces. And then we're pretty much going to be ready to assemble. Okay? Okay, so let's get this. Let's make the left hand side first. Okay, I'm first let's add the 1/2 inch piece along the top. I have been creating layouts to this afternoon, so I'm hoping I'm not going to run out of adhesive, but I have more. So I'm going to butt this up right across the top. Just like that. And that will help us center the rest of the pieces. Now there's 5 pieces on this left side, okay? And so I'm going to put these in order. So it's this one. This is the one I cut from that separate piece. Yeah. You could use any, I mean, really, you could go with this design for a whole album and then just change the colors of your strips or whatever to match the pictures. Okay, so we're doing this one, the mixed one, and then the strawberry slush. And then this one is the pretty in pink with a little bit of the peach pie and the darling duckling, and then the yellow and green. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the center one. So we'll get this one centered along, I'm going to center it along the 6-inch mark on my Versamat. Okay. So that I know it's centered. Okay, and then I am going to center it, you know, vertically as best that I can. And basically, this one looks like I did it about 11.5, so about 1.5 inches from the top. So let's see. This looks pretty good. Okay, and then you can just go. I'm going to do the 2 that are on either side of it. Again, just so that I have it even. If you start with this one and then start to place them, you might end up having them like all too close over here and then have a big gap on the right side, right? So it's better if you start in the center and then work your way out so everything is even. And I left about, I guess more than 1/4 inch, but less than a 1/2 inch, I would say, between. Okay. And then I'll do this one. I do have a little bit more space, you can see on the right side. Like I didn't totally spread these out all the way. They're a little bit more clustered in the center with more like a inch, well, I'd say about 3/4 of an inch on the edge. Okay, so there's that side, and let's do this side. Ooh. Okay. I just thought that I really love how they made this paper be ombre like that, like, you know, or rainbow, like from the pinks to the purples. I just thought it was really unique. And I wanted to preserve that on the layout. Okay, let's see. Put that there. Okay. Now let's do this Darling Duckling piece. And this piece is 10 inches. And I did make this about 10 inches. So if you want to keep your pieces from like 1 inch to the side, 1 inch to the side, if you make a 10-inch piece, it will go from end to end. You can see here it's basically perfectly end to end. So I've got this sheet of Darling Duckling. It's one of the new colors, the 2025, 2027 colors, ink colors. Okay, now this piece is, let's see, 4 3/4. 4 3/4 by 10. So I'm going to cut this 4 3/4. And then I'm going to cut 2 inches off because this is a 12-inch piece. So that'll make this piece 10 inches. Okay, and now let's add this. It is a nice yellow, and I am not, yellow and oranges are not my favorite. Um, but I really like this yellow. I also really like the Timid Tiger orange, which orange is really my least favorite color. Um, and that Timid Tiger is a nice orange. Okay, I have this about 2 inches down from the top. Okay. Maybe 2 and a quarter. Let's say 2 and a quarter inches down. There we go. Okay. And then I have this, I know it looks like Mossy Meadow here. And I'm going to cut this at 10 inches. I've already got it cut at a 1/2 inch. So I'm not 100% sure that this was a 12-inch piece, so I'm going to measure the actual 10 inches. On this one, I knew that the piece I was cutting was 12 inches, so I just cut the 2 inches off of the end. But since this one was in my little stack here that I made before I went on my trip, I don't remember if it was a true 12-inch piece. Okay, so then oh, shoot, I made it, well, that's okay. These aren't going to go next to each other, but this was a two-toned cardstock. So I don't think that was Mossy Meadow. I think this was probably maybe Pine from Close to My Heart. I don't know. Okay, and then this is all of the 3x4 photo placeholders I have left for 3x4. So I'm putting 3x4 pictures, but you can do this however you want. Like for instance, you could have a 4x6 and then a 3x4. You could have, you can make these 3x3s if you really want to. But the 3x4s are nice, and again, I'm just going to kind of center this on there, and I will fill this in with a picture when I'm ready to put this in an album. This would be pretty for my trip. We did a lot of garden tours, so I think this would be a nice for the garden tours. Okay, and then you can cut a title. Here I put Bloom. I cut this out on the Cricut. So, but if you have die, especially if you have the new banner dies and the alphabet, the big alphabet, um, that would be that would work on here. I think I don't have it, but I think pretty much that is the right size. Okay, let's see. I've got the dot of the I here. Okay, spring. So I wanted something different for this title, and so I'm just going to do spring. You could cut a, what do they call it, the outline piece if you want. I didn't, but I'm aware that it's probably a little bit harder to see. But when you're looking at it, in the scrapbook, you'll be able to see it clearly enough. So let's adhere this down. You can use glue. I could use my why can I not get this to go? Is this done? Oh gosh, I think this is done. Let me get another one. I think I have all of my other refills still in my suitcase. So let's just use this Stampin' seal. Okay. The S. And then the spring. Let's see. Okay. Flip it over. I could have used, I guess, oh, this is sticking to my sweater. It's hot outside, but in my basement, it's a little bit chilly. Okay, let's see. So I got a sweater on. And I took my garbage out because tomorrow's, in the morning's garbage. And I had the sweater on, and a lady was jogging by the house, and she was looking at me like, it's like 90 degrees out. Why are you wearing a big, and this is like a 3/4 length sweater. You got your Xyron out? I had my Xyron, but I don't have any refills, and I'm not sure I could find the refills anymore. I don't know. Where are you finding refills? Because I really don't like to use the Stampin' Seal for letters like this because I feel like it's sticky, you know, like it goes beyond the letters. I don't know. Okay, let me make the dot of the I. Okay. Uh-oh. I might get out my okay. Okay, and then we will put the flowers on later. So this is the first page, the left-hand page. Okay. Any questions about this one? Again, these pieces were 1 3/4 by 9.5. This piece is 4 inches by 10. This is a 1/2 inch by 12, and this is a 1/2 inch by 10. Okay, and now let's do the right-hand side. Okay. I'm going to get my ATG. Okay, so now this one, we're going to use the other 3 colors. So it was the green, the purple, and then this one. Okay. Now this one, I am going to start on the left-hand side because we're not going all the way across. So I don't have to worry about it being centered. I am going to start it about 1 inch from the left-hand side and about 1.5 inches down again. So I'm going to put it about right here. And then I just realized I didn't put the strip across the top. Let's see what I did with that. There, here it is. Okay, let's put this, my 1/2 inch strip across the top. I'm getting a little bit better about controlling this ATG on these smaller pieces. The ATG is in my Amazon shop on my favorite things, I believe so. So if you're interested in this, I do have it on there. If you go to my blog, periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com, on the left-hand side, it says something like Maggie's favorites. And I've got just a few things. I think I've got the ATG gun, and I've got the Sprocket photo printer and the Sprocket photo papers. Because we did that live the week before last, showing you how to use the Sprocket, which I'm going to need to order now. Okay. So these mats are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, both of those. So let's cut those. And we need 2 of them. Okay, and I did not put a mat on these. You can if you want to. I did not. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. Let me get my photo placeholders. So here's a 4x6. So let's start with this one. I'm just going to put a little bit here in the center and place it around, I don't know, around the 9 3/4 mark and about the 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, say from the left side, 1 3/4, and then about 2 1/4 down. And then let's stick this beside it. You lost track of time. You missed a beautiful scrapbook layout. And this paper is gorgeous. Did you guys get this paper? I'll show it again once I get this down. Okay, and then let's do photo placeholders. Yeah, I need to get a sprocket for sure. It is in my Amazon page. It's under Maggie's favorites. But since we used it a couple weeks ago, I need to get one. I thought I could do without it since I had the, I've got I got the Canon selfie, but I think that has a different usefulness than the selfie. Okay, so let's put this one here, and I have it just so it overlaps this last piece a little bit, and then goes into the white part. Okay, and then the last one of these photo placeholder, and then I did leave some room for journaling there, and I don't know if you can tell. I'll hold it up a little bit. These are a 1/4 inch pieces of. You can cut white cardstock or whatever, but I am using these sticker ones, and I put 3. Let me get my scissors. Okay. Okay, there's one. So these are nice. These came out with Close to My Heart like right before they closed down. So we didn't have these for very long, but I really love them. Because I'll tell you, whenever I would cut these with a white daisy paper, like my white daisy always frayed on the edges. And when you have a 1/4 inch piece like this, that fraying really, you can really see it. So, okay, so let me put, we'll do the flowers in a minute, but let's put these 2 pages out, and I'm going to just go over it because I know that there's a couple people who have jumped on now. So this is the ombre paper, and these pieces are 1 3/4 by 9.5, and you need 8 of them for the 2-page layout. 1 3/4 by 9.5. This is 1/2 by 12. This yellow, which is Darling Duckling, is 4 by 10. And then this is a 1/2 inch by 10. Okay. And you have 5 of this pieces here and then 3 here. I used this Floral Impressions so it looked like ombre, but you can use really any colors. You can make this Easter colors, you can make it Halloween colors, you can make it spring colors, you can make a rainbow. You could do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Maybe throw a like a blue-green or something in there, you know, if you want to keep kind of the rainbow look. Or, you know, do school colors, you know, whatever. Okay, really easy layout. But I was inspired by this paper to make, to keep it, you know, with this ombre look. Okay, so now we just need to add some flowers. So on this one, what I did is I put the Misty Moonlight and the Fresh Freesia on the like Pretty in Pink side, and then I put the kind of the Pretty in Pink or Strawberry Slush, whatever, whichever one you want to use, on the like Misty Moonlight and Fresh Freesia side, right? So I kind of went opposite. You can make yellows or, you know, whichever you want to do, but that's what I'm going to do because I have some of this paper out. So again, I am using the Impressions of Bloom stamp and die set. And I used the 3 different flowers. I used, well, it's the dies. I used this die, I used this die, and then this die. So I used the 3 flower dies. I didn't put any of the leaves. You could put some of the leaves if you want, but I just did the flowers. Okay, so let me show you how these work. Get my stamp cut and emboss machine. Okay, here's my Misty Moonlight. You can stamp it and then cut it if you want. I'm just going to cut it directly onto the paper. So this piece, the outline cuts out the shape, and then this one doesn't really cut it. It like gives you that embossed design. Okay, and there is like only one way that that goes in there because it's not a symmetric shape. So these are nice. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here is, can you see how that is embossed like with the, I don't know, the veins of the leaves? Okay, so this is a Misty Moonlight. And then this one is the Pretty in Pink, I think. Pretty in Pink. So that one I did this one. And this one too has a specific way that you can put these in. Okay. Let's see how this one turns out. And again, the outside cuts the outside, and then that little piece on the inside just makes the embossed piece. Yeah, my stamps, I showed them a little bit ago, but this is what we're making next week. Remember the fault line cards, and making these, you know, did that. So the Strawberry Slush and the, oh, and you know what else? I also did, I did a YouTube video, the one where I stamped down the center both ways, and then I cut the cardstock into 4 pieces and then made 4 cards. I also used these for that card. So that also added to the coloring, but I do like this set a lot. This time I'm not stamping, I'm just using the dies. Okay, and then the last one I did, I think let's see, what did I use that one? I think it was the Fresh Freesia. Yeah. Okay. The fresh freesia. So there's the outside piece, the inside piece. I have seen where if you stamp the flower and then cut it out with the outside piece, and you use the inside piece, it will um, match along with your stamps. So it kind of gives it a little bit of a design too. But like I said, I'm only using the paper. Okay, now these ones for the pink, I made the inside, let's see, brown. What did I do with my piece of brown? Let me put this away so I don't lose it. Well, okay, let me find some brown. Okay, this is espresso. Um, and this set comes with two centers for your flowers. And again, these ones also have the outside um, piece that cuts it out, and then a little kind of embossing that makes little like stamens. Oh, you missed that video? It was a couple months ago on my YouTube hop. You know, once a month we do the YouTube hop, and I think the theme was flowers. So the theme this month is rest and relaxation. The theme the month before was, so June was something I don't remember. I think it was the May video. It was a May video. Okay, so and if you can see, it's got a little bit of indentations there, so it's a little bit dimensional. And then this one I used the bigger one and it's yellow, and then another smaller one with the brown. So let's do those two together. So here's the bigger center, and then another one of the smaller center on the brown, the espresso. So this is Darling Duckling, and then this is espresso. Okay. Okay. Let's put these away so we don't lose them. This is like a nice little small pieces. Okay. So next week I am going to be featuring these for cards with that fault line cards. I'm so excited about doing those. Okay, let's put this away. And get our layout back. Okay, so let's do this one. Like I said, I did the Misty Moonlight and the Fresh Freesia on the side that was the Pretty in Pink. And then I did the Pretty in Pink flower on the side that was the Fresh Freesia and the Misty Moonlight. So let's put these onto the flowers. I could use a glue here, I guess. All of my Tombow glue is in my suitcase, which I didn't realize I was going to run out. Okay, this one I did one of the small browns. Okay, let's put this on the fresh freesia. And then I did pop these up on dimensionals to make it stand out a little bit. Okay. Put a couple dimensionals here. And then one on the back of here. And again, you don't want to make any dimensionals that goes on top of this photo mat because you are going to put your picture down eventually. So you want to be able to totally lift this piece up so you can put your picture on there. So watch where you put this, and then the same thing over here. We're going to put it right there. Like I said, you could put the leaves if you want to. I just didn't. Okay, that's the left-hand side. And then the right-hand side, let's do this one. Okay, we're going to put the brown center onto the pink flower. Nice. And then I did pop that one up also. There we go. So there you have it. Here is today's scrapbook layout. I do have a resource page where I list all of the products. Let me see. Getting the link. Okay, so there's the link to the resource page for this. I'll show the papers again real quick. I did use all of this ombre paper, so here's one piece, one design. This is what I used for here. It's got that green stripe on the back, and that's what I used for here. This is the bottom piece of that ombre, so you can kind of see what it is. This is what inspired this layout because I wanted to preserve this color scheme. And again, these are supposed to represent pressed flowers. That's why everything looks one dimensional. So here's the piece, the fresh freesia on the back. These, I don't know, I'm calling them daisies with the garden green on the back with circles. I really like this one because I actually have my students press tree leaves a lot, so I really like that. And then the back is, I think pool party. Let's see, we did this one. And then this one, which I used here on the left, so pretty, with the strawberry slush. Really nice. So any questions about the layout? Okay, Julie, I'm dropping a link to that video here. There's a link to the YouTube video where I made the 4 cards out of 1 sheet of paper and the stamps. Okay, next week we're going to be using kind of the same suite. And we're making these fault line cards, and I've kind of made it, I don't want to say good, better, best, but I made it like easy, medium. I wouldn't even say harder, but like more work. So easiest to hardest. Um, just the paper, just the stamps, just the dies is kind of what I did. But we're going to talk about the fault line cards. Um, Last Sunday, I was flying home from England, and so I dropped a video. I didn't do a live, I made a video, and I'm not sure a lot of people recognize that the video dropped because it looked like just the advertisement, but there was a video there. But I made these cards. It was a Christmas in July. I made these easy fan cards. So if you haven't watched that video, you might want to go and watch it because these are really amazing. So I was doing a Christmas in July special. So that's why I kind of did these Christmas themed. But this card is nice, non-Christmas themed too. So look at this one. This is amazing. I love this. Okay, so this was the video that dropped last week. Okay, on my YouTube channel. My YouTube is Crafty Chemist Design, so go check that out. And there's also links in the Facebook page. And then actually there's a new video that dropped today. So the YouTube hop went live today at 2 o'clock. And the theme was rest and relaxation, and I made this card. And it is a pop-up gift card holder with I used the Notes and Totes bundle. So all of this comes from the Notes and Totes bundle, except for the seagull. I added the seagull because, if you have a scene, you got to have a seagull. Okay, let's see. I'll drop a link for the video that dropped today. Yes. Okay, copy the link here. Yeah, the fence is so nice. You guys got this die set, didn't you? And there's a fence piece, and I don't know if you can see, but I mean, you can just, if you don't have the die, you can just cut strips. But this one makes like wood grain in it. And then this is the wood paper. I forget what it's called, something wood. That's what this paper's from. And actually, Country Woods. They brought this back in the new catalog too. So these are dies and stamps from this suite. This paper, the water paper or the sky paper, whatever, is from the Otterly Adorable, those otters. I love that paper. So, but this is a little 3D gift card holder. I thought it was kind of cute. It went with the theme, rest and relaxation. So it was called Summer Rest and Relaxation, I think. So I have a lot of stuff that's coming out or just came out. The video last week, the video that dropped today. So things to check out. And then next week we are going to do the fault line cards. And then after that, I don't think I have any plan. I tried to plan for like a couple weeks after I got back from vacation. So, okay, I will talk to you guys later next week for the Footline cards. Thanks for joining me. Bye.